Thank you.
All right. Senator Fierravanti-Wells.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask some questions in relation to the allegations of transfer of Vatican funds to Australia and some of the activities of the Holy See. I think Mr. Gearing, the appropriate officer. Thank you. I understand that during the pandemic, the Apostolic Nuncio travelled overseas. Did you assist in any way in relation to that, or is that purely his own initiative?
Senator, my understanding of the Nuncio's travel was that it was his own initiative. I don't believe we provided any.
Okay, and he, like any other person, had to make application to travel out of Australia? Or is that covered by his own diplomatic status?
There are, and Senator, I'm slightly out of my lane in the road here, but I'll answer the best I can. There are certain arrangements.
Yeah, and he would have been covered by the diplomatic exemption. Border Force, as you know, implements this scheme, but my knowledge, and I'm sure one of my colleagues will correct me if it's not the case, is that diplomatic passport holders are able to travel without the need for an exemption.
Did we have many diplomats travelling overseas during this period?
There would have been, during
the COVID period. Travelling from Australia, yes, overseas diplomats who have...
Yeah, quite a number, because they've been going about their normal business as much as they can during this period, including changeovers of staff and for all the reasons they'd normally travel. I won't say it's as easy as it would be aside from COVID, but a number of them have, I know, and our Chief of Protocol could confirm that, but yes, they have.
Okay. Are you aware of the alleged transfer of funds from the Vatican to individuals, which have been the subject of recent media reports, but also recent investigations by the Vatican prosecutors as they prepare dossiers for prosecution of Cardinal Becciu and his associates?
So, Senator, we are aware of that, obviously, through the media. My advice is that the AFP still are considering this issue, and they've asked that issues on this be referred to them. I can say, though, that our Ambassador to the Holy See has assisted the AFP with making contacts.
Thank you. So have you approached AFP yourselves? Or
no, Senator, we did not approach the AFP.
Your role at this point is purely reactive and passing on any information that comes within your purview. So,
making the contact, Senator. So our Ambassador to the Holy See assisted the AFP with making the right contacts.
Okay. So therefore, any contact between, say, the Nuncio here in Australia and the Vatican's representatives here in Australia through DFAT? Do you have regular contact with the Nuncio and his staff?
I have to confess, personally, I haven't actually spoken to the Nuncio because he's been overseas. Our ambassador to the Holy See did catch up with the Nuncio when he was in Italy. I haven't personally spoken to him.
So what's the relationship between DFAT and the Nuncio?
So
when I mean Nuncio, I mean the Holy
Embassy. Our relationship would be the same, very similar to the relationship with another mission here. So they would go about the business of a mission here, obviously with slightly different nuances because of the relationship with the Catholic Church. Is a slightly different relationship, and we would from time to time have contact where there's an issue.
Okay, so since the 2nd of October, when the Italian media's Corriere della Sera and other Italian newspapers printed allegations based, I might add, on Vatican sources and confirmed through documents and Vatican sources, have you spoken, or has anyone in DFAT had conversations with the Nuncio here in Canberra?
Not that I'm aware of here in Canberra.
Would you follow that up, please?
I can follow that up, Senator. And as I mentioned to you, our Ambassador to the Holy See did catch up with the Nuncio when he was back in Rome. I haven't. I'll need to just take on notice and just check for you whether that issue came up in the conversation.
Okay, thank you. I will go to that. I assume that not just the current ambassador, but previous ambassadors, Hutchison and McCarthy, over the years, have provided ongoing information, particularly in relation to the Pell matter. I mean, if I can, Cardinal Pell was appointed to the position of inaugural prefect of the Secretariat for the Economy, at a position he was appointed to in February 2014. I assume that given that high role and the subsequent issues that arose in relation to Cardinal Pell, that there has been a steady flow of information from our Vatican ambassador. Is that the case, Mr. Gearing? Or
Senator, our ambassador, as you know, we had a changeover of ambassador just recently. And unfortunately, I'm only reasonably new to the role. I need to find some of that history for you. I'd need to take that on notice and just see. As I say, our ambassador's only reasonably new and has been doing.
Well, I really would. I appreciate if you would, Mr. Gearing. I too have officially visited the Vatican when I was minister, so I am aware that there has been constant, I am aware that there has been information passed. And I understand that during the nuncios, as you've confirmed, now our ambassador met with him. Did the ambassador or the embassy organise for the nuncio to meet with Cardinal Pell?
I'd have to take that on notice, Senator. My memory is no, but let me take that on notice to be absolutely sure.
And my understanding is that there was a meeting. A meeting was instigated at the request of the nuncio, and that the embassy approached the Cardinal for that meeting to go ahead. That's my understanding, but I also understand that the meeting did not go ahead, so I'm interested to know who made the approaches, on whose behalf, and subsequently why the meeting didn't go ahead. So if you could please, and I would appreciate if you could get that information and provide it to me today if possible. Thank you. In relation to the investigation...
Senator, I would have to go to Italy to get that information, so I would have to contact our ambassador to get something like that.
I appreciate that. I'm very conscious of the time difference. I'm interested to know how accurately and how keenly we are following investigations by the Vatican prosecutors of the Cardinal, who was the former acting Secretary of State. As you are aware, Mr. Gearing, those allegations include abuse of authority, embezzlement, corruption and money laundering, and the use of proceeds from criminal activities, all from, I quote now, from Italian and Vatican sources in relation to that. Now, in the media report...
So, Senator, as I mentioned to you earlier, the AFP has asked that any questions around this issue be referred to them because of the nature of their ongoing considerations of it. We are aware of the allegations and we've seen them in the press.
I am coming to that, Mr. Gearing.
And as
I have a reason for asking the questions that I do. Now, in a report in the Repubblica of 22 October, Vatican prosecutors, together with the Guardia della Finanza, are investigating an alleged partnership between Caritas Rome and a company administered by the Cardinal's brother and various dioceses. In an article which I have also accessed, Vatican sources detailed knowledge of the matter confirm that there were existence of bank transfers to Australia. They know the year and the date of the transfers are recorded in the archives of the Secretariat of State. The article goes on to say the funds were extra budgetary, meaning they did not come from ordinary accounts and were ostensibly transferred for works to be done on the Australian Nunciature, the source said. I also understand from other sources, and I'm reading again, that the Vatican is investigating the activities of one of the Cardinal's associates, Ms. Marogna, who has been allegedly used as a back channel to transfer monies to diplomatic, and I'm quoting, diplomatic missions in Africa and allegedly in other places. So again, my question to you is this something that our ambassador in the Holy See would be following. There is a difference here. There's potentially what the AFP is doing here in Australia, and I am in contact as well. I have been in contact with the AFP in relation to this, and I will be asking the appropriate questions there. My interest is what is DFAT doing, and in particular, what is our ambassador in the Holy See doing, and what role does she have in relation to these issues? Is she monitoring? Is she passing on information? Is she at all interested? Or what is her role and the Embassy's role at this point in time?
Senator Simon Newnham, First Assistant Secretary, Legal Division. Senator, to go to your question, I would describe the role of our Embassy there as monitoring closely the developments, as providing support for the AFP, but of course recognising that these are subjects of a potential criminal matter, and further sort of information regarding that would not be appropriate for the committee. But the AFP is in the lead on this investigation, and the Embassy, as it would always do, is providing assistance wherever possible.
So are you saying to me that you're just acting as effectively, you're just monitoring what's going on?
Well, Senator, that makes it sound like it's a negative thing. Of course, it's very important where there is an ongoing investigation and there is the potential for criminal matters to be pursued to operate within certain parameters, and our Embassy there is doing that.
Okay, so did the Embassy at some point become aware of information and passed on information to the AFP, or was it the other way around?
Unless Mr. Gearing has information on that, Senator, no allegations were provided to or received by the department. Okay, and so you've had no direct contact with AUSTRAC or any other than the AFP, you've had no contact with any other? Not to my knowledge, Senator. Would you take that on notice? Sure. And please investigate that? I mean, these are very serious issues, and if the allegations are proven to be correct, and bearing in mind that the allegations pertinent to Australia are only a part of a much, much broader investigation by the Vatican authorities, it does reflect significantly and will have significant consequences, especially for authorities and judicial authorities in Victoria and other places. So I think it is, in fairness, I'm very keen to get to the bottom of it, and I would have thought that from an Australian government perspective, we will be doing everything that we possibly can. Yes.
Yep. Okay. So in the event that as this matter progresses, will the lead be Home Affairs? So as more and more information emerges in relation to this matter, will what will be the role of our ambassador in Rome?
Senator, your question goes to a series of potential eventualities that I just cannot predict. What I would say is, as is usual practice, the AFP is conducting the investigation into a potential criminal matter. They are, of course, receiving assistance from Australian government, from the department, from our post, and the future steps to be taken there really are a matter for the AFP, but acknowledging it really depends on what circumstances and facts arise in the course of that investigation.
Okay, and so when did the AFP first make contact with us?
Senator, I certainly don't have that to hand.
Senator, let me just see if I've got it in my notes. If not, I'll take on notice for you.
Sorry,
Senator, I might have to take... I'm sorry, Senator, I'll have to take that question of first contact on notice, Senator.
Given that these allegations have been, certainly in relation to the transfer of funds to Australia, we saw that on the 2nd of October in the articles that emerged then, but the issues pertinent to the players here and the the allegations are that the monies were transferred. There were 4 payments, 2 from Cardinal Becciu and 2 from a Monsignor Borgia. Interesting surname. And through to an organisation here in Australia. So my understanding is that you will have to go back sometime.
Those questions of detail, Senator, I will have to go and take some of those on notice.
If you don't mind. I have a batch of questions if I can. Could you just outline the nature of the diplomatic immunity that would be enjoyed by the nuncio or any other diplomat in relation to potential criminal investigations or potential criminal allegations?
Senator, I will hand over to those.
Senator, I think if I understand it correctly, your question goes to a matter of judgment about the immunities of a foreigner. If your question
a foreign diplomat in Australia.
Yeah.
So let's if I can just ask this question. Assuming this matter proceeds, and if these allegations are proven to be proceed further, and if and I say this if there are issues that do attach to any person at any embassy, then what is the parameter? What are the parameters of that person's immunity? Are they obliged to cooperate with Australian authorities? What is the extent of what they will be obliged to do or not do?
Senator, and I will tread carefully here. I'm conscious your question, the lead into it, goes to a series of specific circumstances. I would not be able to comment on...
No, I'm not asking. I'm just asking now a general question, and can I just say I'm asking this question in a very general context.
Yes. Senator, of course, the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic and Consular Relations, to which Australia is a party, and of course many nations around the world, has a series of immunities and rights and responsibilities that flow through that. I think it would be best, Senator, if I took on notice the exact nature of your question, just to give you a bit of a sense then of some of the underpinnings of that convention, or those conventions. There are a couple.
So, in simple terms, would a diplomat be obliged to answer questions? Like if the AFP go knocking on a diplomat's door?
Senator, you're getting...
We know they like to evade fines at times, but...
Yes. Senator, your questions are coming to a sense of giving legal advice to this committee, and I would not propose to do that. What I could say is, in general terms, materials available publicly around the sorts of elements that are contained in those conventions speak to any number of criteria that need to be met for certain rights and responsibilities to be engaged. But Senator, I would, as I said earlier, would take that on notice.
Thank you, Chair.